Hey, what's up? This is Coach Mark. So the theme that I am focusing on this week is persistence pays. Persistence pays. In my power and a half hour call this week, I talked about this entrepreneur named Guillermo Perales. Now, Guillermo came from Mexico back in the 90s. And he wanted to start a Golden Corral in Mexico. He was unable to get the funding. The bank that he was lined up to get the money from in Mexico, they ended up going under. So he came to America and he got a $100,000 loan from the Small Business Association and started his first Golden Corral restaurant at the end of 1997, beginning of 1998. Now, here it is, right? This guy came from Mexico, right? Probably didn't speak English all that well, all right? Figured out how to get a small business association loan and to start his own restaurant. Now, that in itself is an absolute amazing feat, right? This guy was able to start his own restaurant as an immigrant, came to this country as an immigrant and start his own restaurant. Here it is, 19 years later. Okay, we're in 2016, 19 years later, this guy ended up, shortly after he started his first restaurant, he ended up starting up another company called Sun Restaurant Company or Sun Holding Company that manages all his restaurants. And now this guy has over 650 restaurants and stores throughout the United States. What an absolutely amazing story. He has Golden Corrals. He has Burger King. He has over 200 and something Burger King restaurants. He has Popeyes. He has CC's Pizzas. He has Krispy Kreme donut shops. He has GNC's. He has like 80 something T-Mobile stores. He has stores in the airports. He has all types of stores, right? Started off with one. This guy started off with one store, one Golden Corral. Now he has, I think, 20 or 30 something Golden Corrals. He has I told you all the different restaurants that he has. Taco del Toro, El Doro, whatever it's called, right? The tacos. He has over 650. He employs over 14,000 people. And you know what he said? That the best piece of advice that he's gotten and the best piece of advice that he gives to other people is persistency. Persistency. Now, I don't know this dude, Guillermo, okay? He might be brilliant. Who knows? But I can tell you what Guillermo has that most other people don't have. Guillermo is persistent. Persistence pays, okay? And that's the thing. Most people aren't able to see that. Most people aren't able to see that. All they're thinking about is getting paid today. They want to see what they're going to get paid today. Well, here's the thing. If you want big results, if you want to get paid big time, you might have to put in work for 2 years. You might have to put in work for 3 years. You might have to put in work for 4 years. But guess what? When it hits, it hits. Okay? When it hits, it hits. And trust me, you're going to get paid for all those years, all those months, all those days, all those years that you were putting in work and you weren't getting anything at all. And most people just aren't able to see that. If they're not getting paid right then and there, they don't want it. They're not interested in it. But guess what? That's why they'll never, ever get paid any big money. One thing that I can tell you, I have studied hundreds, if not thousands of entrepreneurs. And the one skill that I can tell you that they all had was they were all persistent. You can't get anywhere and not be persistent. It's just not going to happen. You know, I like to say that all successful entrepreneurs need to be persistent and need to have belief. But I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes some of those people that I've studied, they didn't even have the belief. They had a certain level of belief, but their belief wasn't all the way to the top. They didn't have a 10 level of belief or 100% level of belief, but they all were persistent. They were all persistent. They were all not focused on the money in the beginning. You got to be able to put that work in and consistently and persistently put that work in and know that you're going to get paid on the back end. There's so many things that I can tell you that I've done over the years where I've put the work in, 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 didn't see no money, put the work in. In my latest business venture, the project that I'm working on right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting the work in. I'm investing my time. I'm investing my money over and over again. And I might not see the money right away, but guess what? I know that the fat paycheck is around the corner. Now, around the corner might be a month. It might be a year. It might be 2 years. It might be 5 years. It may be 10 years. But it doesn't matter because I know that when the time is right, that's when it will come. But I'm not stopping. I'm not giving up, right? Because everyone that I've seen that has attained massive level of success did not stop. They did not give up. All the people that gave up, that stopped, they're all broke. They all quit. They're all doing nothing, right? You got to be persistent, and you got to understand that persistence pays. You will get paid. You just don't control when you'll get paid. Like I said, it might be a month from now. It might be a year from now. It might be 5 years from now. It might be 10 years from now. But what I can promise you, if you are persistent, if you keep going, you don't allow anyone to slow you down, anyone or anything to slow you down, you will eventually hit your goal. You will eventually be paid. But you got to be persistent. You got to make up in your mind that you're not going to quit. You got to make up in your mind that you aren't going to quit. Because I can promise you this. If you quit, soon as you quit, someone else is going to pick up right where you left off and they're going to get exactly what it was meant for you to get. All right? Hope you guys got something from that. Persistence pays. And let me tell you, baby, it pays big. It pays big because you know why? Most people just can't be persistent. You don't even have to be the smartest person. I'm looking at some of these entrepreneurs that are millionaires and billionaires. And when you really dig down deep, now they look smart. Anybody looks smart with a bunch of money around them. But when you really dig down deep and you just listen to them, listen to some of the, I dig in deep and I look at their interviews and whatnot, and I realize that these guys just aren't that much smarter than everybody else, but they were persistent. They never gave up. And because everybody else gave up, they just won by default. Have a great week.